Greetings, seekers of truth and wisdom. Today we explore a profound message hidden within the experience of isolation. Many of you have felt the weight of solitude, the ache of separation from the world. But what if I told you that this isolation isn't a punishment, but a calling, that you've been chosen for a higher purpose? In the grand tapestry of existence, isolation is often seen as a thread out of place, a flaw in the pattern. But viewed from a higher perspective, it's a crucial element in the design of your spiritual evolution. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, has selected you for this experience. It's not a random occurrence, but a deliberate invitation to growth and transformation. Let's begin by reframing our understanding of isolation. It's not about physical separation alone. True isolation is a state of being set apart, of standing at a distance from the collective consciousness that often drowns out our inner voice. In this space, free from the constant chatter and influence of others, we have a unique opportunity to hear the whispers of our soul and the murmurs of the universe. Think back to the great spiritual leaders and visionaries throughout history. Many of them underwent periods of profound isolation. Moses spent 40 days on Mount Sinai. Buddha sat alone under the Bodhi tree. Jesus retreated to the wilderness for 40 days and nights. These weren't punishments, but crucibles of transformation. Your isolation, whether it's physical, emotional, or spiritual, is your Mount Sinai, your Bodhi tree, your wilderness. It's a sacred space where the noise of the world fades away, allowing you to tune into a higher frequency of consciousness. This is where true wisdom is born, where revelations occur, where your purpose becomes clear. But why you? Why have you been chosen for this experience? The answer lies in your unique vibrational signature. Each soul emits a specific frequency, and yours has aligned with this particular lesson at this particular time. You're ready for it. Even if your conscious mind doubts or resists. This isolation is a sign that you're being prepared for something greater. The universe doesn't waste energy. If you're experiencing this separation, it's because you have a mission, a purpose that requires this period of incubation and growth. You're being sculpted into a tool for higher consciousness, a beacon for others who will go through similar experiences. Now, I invite you to reflect deeply on this question. What if your isolation is not a barrier to your purpose, but the very key to unlocking it? How would that change your perception of your current circumstances? As we continue, we'll explore how to navigate this isolation, how to extract its wisdom, and how to use it as a launchpad for spiritual growth. Remember, you weren't chosen for this experience because you're weak, but because you're strong enough to handle it and grow from it. The universe sees in you a potential that perhaps you haven't yet recognized in yourself. In this sacred space of isolation, you stand at the threshold of a profound alchemical process. Just as lead is transformed into gold, your isolation can transmute the base elements of your being into spiritual treasures. This process isn't always comfortable, but it's immensely valuable. The first gift of isolation is clarity. When we're constantly surrounded by others, their thoughts, opinions, and energies can cloud our perception. In solitude, the fog lifts. You begin to see yourself and the world around you with startling clarity. This isn't always easy. You might confront aspects of yourself you've been avoiding, but this clear sight is essential for growth. Pay attention to the thoughts and feelings that arise in your solitude. They're not random. They're messages from your deeper self. That recurring thought, it might be pointing towards your life's purpose. That emotion you keep pushing away, it could be the key to healing an old wound. In isolation, you have the space to listen deeply to these inner messages. Another gift is the opportunity for deep self-reflection. Without the distractions of social interactions, you can dive into the depths of your being. Who are you when no one's watching? What do you truly value? What dreams have you neglected in the hustle of daily life? Isolation provides the perfect environment to rediscover your authentic self. This period of isolation is also a powerful incubator for creativity. Many of humanity's greatest works of art, literature, and scientific discoveries were born in periods of solitude. Your isolation is a fertile ground for new ideas and inspirations. Let your mind wander, explore new concepts, play with possibilities. You might be surprised at what emerges. Isolation also offers the gift of spiritual deepening. In the quiet, you can more easily connect with the divine, however you conceive it. This is a time for prayer, meditation, or simply being present with the mystery of existence. Many report experiencing profound spiritual insights or even mystical experiences during periods of isolation. But perhaps the most valuable gift of isolation is the opportunity to develop self-reliance and inner strength. When external supports are removed, you're forced to find resources within yourself that you might not have known existed. This inner strength will serve you long after your period of isolation ends. However, receiving these gifts requires active participation. Isolation isn't something that happens to you. It's something you engage with. Approach your solitude with intention and awareness. Create rituals that give structure to your days. Set aside time for self-reflection, creativity, and spiritual practice. Remember, this isolation is temporary, but its effects can be permanent if you use it wisely. You're being forged in the fires of solitude, shaped into a more refined version of yourself. Every moment of loneliness, every pang of separation, is contributing to your growth. Here's a question to ponder deeply. If your isolation is a cocoon, what kind of being are you becoming inside it? What parts of your old self are you ready to shed? And what new aspects are you cultivating? In our next segment, we'll explore how to navigate the challenges that often arise during periods of isolation and how to use them as stepping stones to higher consciousness. Are you prepared to face the shadows that might emerge in your solitude, knowing they hold the keys to your transformation? As we venture deeper into the realm of isolation, we encounter its shadowy aspects. These darker elements aren't to be feared, but embraced. They're integral to your spiritual evolution, offering profound lessons and opportunities for growth. One of the most common shadows in isolation is loneliness. It can feel like a heavy, oppressive force, threatening to overwhelm you. But loneliness isn't your enemy. It's a teacher. It's showing you where you've become overly dependent on external validation and connection. This feeling invites you to cultivate a deeper relationship with yourself and with the universe at large. When loneliness arises, don't push it away. Sit with it. Explore its contours. Ask yourself, what's beneath this loneliness? Often, you'll find a yearning for authentic connection with yourself, with others, with the divine. Use this insight to deepen your self-love and to commit to more meaningful connections when you re-emerge from isolation. Another shadow you might encounter is fear. In the quiet of isolation, fears you've been avoiding can surface. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of your own potential. These fears are signposts, pointing to areas where you need to grow. Each fear is an invitation to cultivate courage and faith. When fear arises, breathe into it. Feel where it lives in your body. Then ask yourself, what would I do if I wasn't afraid? This question can open up new possibilities and help you tap into your innate courage. You might also face the shadow of your own negative thoughts and self-judgments. Without the distractions of daily life, the voice of your inner critic can become loud and insistent. But this too is a gift. It's bringing to light the limiting beliefs and self-sabotaging patterns that have been holding you back. When you notice these negative thoughts, don't fight them. Instead, observe them with curiosity. Where did these beliefs come from? Are they really true? Often you'll find they're based on old wounds or outdated information. This awareness is the first step in releasing these limiting beliefs and replacing them with empowering ones. The shadow of past regrets or unresolved trauma might also surface during isolation. This isn't pleasant, but it's profoundly healing. Your isolation is creating a safe space for these old wounds to come to light so they can finally be healed. Allow yourself to feel these old pains fully, knowing that in doing so, you're releasing them. Remember, in spiritual alchemy, it's the darkest substance that yields the most precious gold. These shadows aren't obstacles to your growth. They're the very fuel for it. By facing and integrating these darker aspects, you become more whole, more authentic, more powerful. This dance with your shadows in isolation is preparing you for a greater purpose. You're developing spiritual resilience, emotional intelligence, and a deeper understanding of the human experience. These qualities will serve you and others when you return to the world. As you navigate these shadowy territories, hold this question in your heart. If these challenges are actually disguised opportunities, what gifts might they be offering you? How can you use them to become the highest version of yourself? In our final segment, we'll explore how to integrate the lessons of isolation and prepare for your re-emergence into the world. How will you use your newfound wisdom and strength to fulfill the purpose for which you were chosen? As we approach the culmination of our journey through isolation, we stand at the threshold of rebirth. Like the phoenix rising from the ashes, you're preparing to emerge from this cocoon of solitude, transformed and renewed. This isn't just an end, but a powerful beginning. The wisdom you've gained in isolation isn't meant to be hoarded, but shared. You've been chosen for this experience not just for your own growth, but to become a light for others. Your struggles, insights, and transformations will serve as a beacon for those who are still finding their way through their own dark nights of the soul. As you prepare to re-enter the world, take stock of how you've changed. Notice the new strengths you've developed, the insights you've gained, the parts of yourself you've healed or awakened. These aren't just personal achievements, they're tools you'll use to fulfill your higher purpose. But remember, emerging from isolation doesn't mean leaving it behind entirely. The skills you've cultivated, deep listening, self-reflection, spiritual connection, should remain part of your daily life. Create rituals that allow you to regularly tap into that space of sacred solitude, even amidst the bustle of everyday life. Your reemergence might feel overwhelming at first. The world might seem louder, faster, more chaotic than you remember. This is normal. Your senses have been recalibrated to a subtler frequency during your isolation. Don't rush to adjust back to the old rhythms. Instead, maintain your new vibration and let the world adjust to you. As you step back into social interactions, you might find that some relationships have changed. Some may fall away, while new ones aligned with your growth will emerge. Trust this process. You're now vibrating at a different frequency, and your social circle will naturally shift to reflect this. Your newfound clarity might also lead you to make changes in your life path. You might feel called to shift careers, move to a new location, or dedicate yourself to a cause that resonates with your awakened purpose. Trust these impulses. They're the universe guiding you towards your highest path. One of your most important tasks now is to integrate your experiences of isolation into your daily life. How can you bring the peace you found in solitude into your interactions with others? How can you use your deepened self-awareness to navigate challenges more gracefully? How can your spiritual insights inform your work and relationships? As you move forward, stay connected to the lessons of your isolation. When you feel overwhelmed or lost, recall the strength and clarity you found in solitude. Let it ground and center you. You carry that sacred space within you always. Your journey through isolation has prepared you for a greater role in the world. You've been refined in the crucible of solitude, and now you're ready to shine. Your light is needed. There are others stumbling in the dark, seeking the wisdom you now carry. But this isn't about becoming a guru or a savior. It's about authentically living the truth you've discovered, letting your transformed being speak louder than any words could. Your very presence will remind others of their own inner light. As we conclude, consider this: if your isolation was a sacred initiation, what have you been initiated into? What role are you now prepared to play in the grand dance of existence? You were chosen for this isolation because you have a unique gift to bring to the world. Now, as you step back into the flow of life, carry your light proudly. Let it illuminate the path for yourself and others. The world awaits your return. Dear light bearer, it's time to shine.